Hi guys, and welcome back to Jenny G Dyslexic Me. So today's video is about what I did in primary school, like what tips and tricks for my learning and my phonetics that helped me when I went into secondary school. So the foundations that I built in primary school that helped me in secondary school and helped me be able to read better and spell better for when I went into secondary school. So I have a couple of tips. I'm not really sure how many I'm going to do. I'm going to do the main ones first and then see if I have time for other ones. So one of the biggest kind of most consistent things that I did most nights when I was in primary school after I'd been diagnosed. So I was, I think it was 8 when I was diagnosed. So from the ages of 8 to 11 or 12, I did this book called Toe by Toe, and I've put a photo of it here. Toe by Toe, it was like my best friend and my worst enemy because my mum used to make me sit down every night after school and do I don't know, a chapter or a couple of pages of it, and I remember I used to absolutely hate it. I used to be like, no, I've got to do Toe by Toe, but honestly it was amazing. It really helped me with my phonetics and my the spelling rules and the syllable divisions. It's got lots of different sections in it that you kind of tick off once you're done, and they help with different grammar techniques and different spelling rules, and it's really good. And it's really thick and chunky, and you think that there's so much stuff in there, but that's because there is so much stuff in there because the English language is really hard to spell. It's got loads of really weird spelling techniques. I mean, there's so many different ways to spell there and they are, and it's so confusing if you don't have dyslexia, never mind if you do have dyslexia. So Tool by Tool was great for all that kind of stuff. And another book that's kind of very similar to Tool and Tool, it's called A Word Wasp, and there's a photo of that one, and it's kind of similar. It helps you break down words and phonetics and everything and spellings and stuff, but I think I'd probably use Tool by Tool more than Word Wasp because we had the Tool by Tool book in the house. Yeah, so they are the first kind of main thing that I did. I think every night. It probably wasn't every night. It definitely felt like every night after primary school. I just worked through a couple of pages of those, and I think it has definitely helped my spelling because yes, I still really struggle to spell some words, but I think the basics, I got a lot of the basics from Tool by Tool, so it was definitely really useful. Okay, so I think the second thing that helped me in primary school were books that were called Barrington Stoke books, and these books are really dyslexic friendly. So they have cream paper in the background, and the paragraphs are really spaced out. There's a paragraph, a picture, then another paragraph, but the lines in the paragraph are also spaced out, and the text is printed in a dyslexic friendly text. So it's not really bold black letters, it's in a text that's a lot easier to read for dyslexics. And these were probably the first books that I started reading really independently myself. They kind of got me into a flow of reading, and I think something that's really important when you have dyslexia, especially at a younger age, is to just continuously try and read. Just every night, maybe, I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour, and I just try really hard to read a certain book. And these Barrington Stokes books were, they were really good because they made it a lot easier to read, and they still had fun stories. There's also different levels, so there's beginners levels and stuff, and it works its way up. So you can start reading at the level that's best for you, and then know that you've also got other books that you can kind of follow on with in the same style. And yeah, so that's really good. And they had them, I think they had a couple in my primary school library, but you can get them online and in bookshops and everything. They're quite well known, so yeah, they're definitely something that you should check out. I was also lucky enough to work with a dyslexic specialist when I was in primary school. So it wasn't through my primary school, but once a month I would go to like a little village kind of near, well, kind of near to where we lived, and I would sit for about an hour with the dyslexic specialist, and we do like little tasks, maybe tool by tool or other reading and phonetics tasks, and she'd be able to work out specific areas that I was really struggling with again and again and again, and just find solutions like literally like that. And I would be able to put those solutions into my work, into reading, and it just made it so much easier. And although it was only once a month, it made such a difference. It was actually the lady that diagnosed me, so she instantly, it was already like from the beginning there was a kind of connection there. And so once a month up until I think I finished when I started secondary school, so it was probably about 3 years for once a month I went to see her, and she made such a difference. There were so many little tips that I didn't really even think of, that she just magically knew how to like fix for me. She knew how to identify the things that I was struggling on and just give me a solution. Like, she'd already seemed to prepare everything I could have wanted and known, and just like gave it to me. And so yeah, I'm really grateful that I did have that opportunity, because I know for a fact that it really, really helped me, especially like with the foundation, so that it made it a lot easier for when I like went into secondary school. So yeah, I'm really, really grateful for that. Something that I actually did when it was like the first week of secondary school or the first week of high school, I had these little slips of paper, and they had a photograph of me on, and they were just like, "Hi, I'm Jenny, I have dyslexia. These are a couple of the things that I struggle with," and I'd like list spelling and reading and the things that really struggled most. And I would just I just give them to my teacher as I walked in the door. Like, I had never seen these teachers before. I completely new school, completely knew everything. And I just, little year 7 me would walk in, give them this bit of paper, and some of them were just kind of like, "Oh, thanks," and then others were like, "Oh, yeah." And it made the teachers like recognize who I was, because it had the little photo of me on it, made them know my name, and it made it like really obvious to them that I did have dyslexia, because when I was writing like tasks or writing like work and stuff, and my spelling would just like sometimes be completely awful, and it shows that I like kind of was putting effort in before I'd even started the school, because I was letting them know in advance that I did have dyslexia, and that these were some of the like problems that I struggled with. And I think they really appreciated that. So that is definitely a good idea. I think that if you're starting a new school, just let your teachers know. You can do it in any way you want, but I thought the little slips were quite cute. And it's very subtle as well. You don't need to then go up and be like, "Hi," and like, you know, it's a nerve-wracking experience as it is starting a new class with new teachers and new people. And just being able to hand them a piece of paper with everything I wanted to tell them on it, rather than having to go up to a new person and like tell them that I had dyslexia and all these different things that came with it. It was a lot more concise, and it was just more reassuring to know that they always had that as well, because then they probably, I don't know where they'd put it, in their desk, on their planner or whatever, and they'd be more likely to kind of remember who I was, and remember that I did have dyslexia, so when they were marking my work, they weren't going to go like, big red underline, "You spelt this wrong." They'd just be like, "Oh yeah, she has dyslexia," and kindly kind of write in the margin the little notes. And I still do that today. Like, I still like spell things wrong, obviously, and there's sometimes I spell the same word wrong in an entire essay just over and over again. Every time I do it, I just do it wrong, because I just have a blockage with that one word. And some of my teachers just write like, "I think you know, this word is spelt wrong. Here's the right way to spell it." And because sometimes I just try and write a word in the way that sounds like to my brain that it would make the most sense to spell it. But obviously no, why would it make sense to spell a word the way it's actually supposed to like make sense? Wait, that doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean. But yeah, so that is my last tip for today, is when you start high school or start a new year group with new teachers, maybe just like tell them in advance that you have dyslexia, or just take a little slip with you, kind of to subtly give to them to say I have dyslexia, and it makes it a lot less nerve-wracking. I know for my year 7 self, like 12 years old, starting a new school with like loads and loads of people in comparison to my small primary school, I think it did help. So yeah, that's my tips for today. The things that helped me, that I did in primary school that helped set up the foundations for secondary school. So I used Toe by Toe and Word Wasp, which were books for phonetics and spelling. And then I read Barrington Stoke books, which are dyslexic friendly books. And I saw a dyslexic specialist, which is obviously something that not everyone is able to do. But I'm really grateful for being able to do that, because it definitely did help like set up my foundations. And then when I started high school the first week, I took a little slip to my teachers saying that I had dyslexia and some things that I struggle with. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful for anyone watching, really. Just some tips for like what I did in primary school for my dyslexia. But yeah, see you next time. Bye.